Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we got for you here. We got BAKKT, we got NASDAQ, we got Citibank, $4 trillion worth of payments every day. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.19 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.4%. Good morning, everybody. 27,100 plus for Bitcoin. 1843 and change for Ethereum, and Tether market cap is 83.1 billion plus. XRP 47 cents this morning. It's off by 0.2% on the 24-hour and up 1.3 on the 7-day. Right now, if you're not messing around, you're accredited. You're going to want to go to click the link to my sponsor underneath this video. You can get incredible deals. I'm telling you, the minimums have never been better. All these incredible products you see, whether it's digital asset companies like Ripple, whether it's Link2, whether it's Uphold, Ledger, Copper. I tell you, Samba Nova, artificial intelligence, Cerebras, they have it all. Chainalysis is on the news in the news today, but they're sold out. This is what happens if you wait too long. This is the time to strike. I'm telling you, the market is down. The wealthiest people in the world are buying right now because the market is down. That's how it really works, right? Click and see if it's right for yourself. You got to be accredited, as I said, but the link is underneath the video, ladies and gentlemen. These products do not last very long. Chainalysis CEO, thousands of crypto investigations are underway. And you know what? I knew that. I understood that. I didn't know how many. But it does make sense to me. That's what Chainalysis does. You know, look, we are moving into a compliant framework, a regulatory framework that is compliant. Now, a lot of people are going to want to push back on that because they have the anti-bank, anti-establishment kind of libertarian mindset, and I love you for it. But the reality is we don't have a real asset class unless it's regulated. Full stop. And in order to get the trillions and trillions of dollars to move into the value protocols, to be able to invest in them, use them, incorporate them in their business model, you're going to have regulation to do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the way it goes. China, obviously, leading the race out here when it comes to all of this. And it's not just for digital innovation. It's because they want to circumvent the U.S. dollar along with all of this innovation. And they're looking at right now 582 billion plus in yuan worldwide to really circumvent the U.S. dollar. That is a lot. And we have to see when the U.S. is going to pop its head up. And you know what? I think it starts in July with FedNow. FedNow service overhaul, a pro-crypto game changer for the financial landscape. Now, we know that this is coming. We also know that Ripple is a partner to the U.S. Faster Payments Council, which is exciting to me because I don't expect XRP to be used in every transaction. Far from it. It's domestic liquidity. So what I expect to take place is I expect to see a moment where the organization of domestic payment flow and domestic liquidity takes place. And that is exciting to me because it is going to open the door for large value cross-border payments. Now, let's accompany that with understanding that we are weeks away, if not days away, from clarity, some kind of decision in this SEC versus Ripple case. I said a couple days ago that I believe that it would be very timely and fitting, in fact, if we saw a decision in the SEC versus Ripple case just before the rollout and the live launch of FedNow, which is actually ready to go, right? But they're officially launching in July. So this would make sense to me, knowing Ripple is a partner to FedNow and knowing it is about absolutely getting a new financial payment system in place that organizes domestic liquidity. I just find it to be very fitting. And there's some other information out here today that I think you're going to absolutely love on this Sunday morning. Here we see a article, how Ripple is shaping cross-border transactions in banking. It shows all of the highlights here. You guys know the drill. Why are banks adopting Ripple? Well, swift and efficient cross-border transactions, cost-saving, improved profitability, enhanced liquidity management. That's exactly right. That's what XRP does as a bridge currency. Expanded global reach and market access. Compliance and regulatory considerations. There is not one transaction through RippleNet that's not KYC and AML. Innovation and competitive advantage. We know all of these things, and that's why the decision in this case is so very important. I also want to say, too, as I'm just thinking out loud here, I want to say, in my mind, I want to share this speculation I have. It would not surprise me to see the SEC versus Ripple case with a decision that says secondary market sales, or maybe this is what I'd like to see, right? Maybe that's the way to say it. Secondary market sales are obviously not securities for XRP and retail holders. And then I'd also like to see that at the very least, if not a complete win, at the very least, I'd like to see the sales from the beginning and creation of ODL to current and going forward are also not securities. And if there is something the judge wants to hold on to, it's prior to the creation of on-demand liquidity, because that is a commercial use market product, right? And then Ripple and SEC and the courts can hammer this out about the early sales from 2013 to 2018, possibly. I'm speculating. But this would also allow both parties to push on forward to appellate court, if not settle in some way, or to push on even further to ultimately the Supreme Court if they want to fight it that much. One thing that sticks out in my mind that I want to share about all of this, Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse have said and this is the phrase, by the way, by the time this case is all said and done, Ripple will have spent $200 million on its legal defense. Well, I find that interesting because up just a few months ago, they said Ripple had spent $100 million in its defense. So I'm left to speculate, but one has to speculate, do they anticipate an appeal? Do they anticipate in some portion of judgment an appeal, and then possibly what it would cost to go the distance to get that clarity, possibly to the Supreme Court even? I still hold on to the idea that this would be a way for Ripple to have the win that they need as a company, to give them the freedom to begin U.S. adoption as well as global adoption, which is already happening, but to take off in a massive way, while there is still a legal argument to be defined about the early sales of XRP. So in other words, you could have a split decision that doesn't necessarily harm Ripple in its ability to begin working inside of the United States, while there is still a legal argument to be cleared up and rectified. And this acts, as I have said long ago, as a possible legal dog leash on this digital asset. And as it grows, they can monitor its growth and how it's taking place and how well it's doing. And if everything's going okay, the legal argument can be clearly made by the time they get to appellate court or Supreme Court that this asset is exactly what we all know it to be, yada, 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 and put it to rest. But this would also, if the early sales of Ripple are found to be securities by this judge in a ruling, this would also allow the SEC to continue to play whack-a-mole in this industry, unfortunately. But that would be the large hammer happening around to suppress this industry while we wait for Congress to get off of their ass and actually do something. I could be wrong. I'm just speculating and sharing my digital perspectives of what I see right now, but I obviously see massive advantage to Ripple in this case. And I would find it very odd if anything other than this happened in a negative favor to Ripple. Because Ripple has worked extremely hard to be one of the only, if not the only, transparent company in this digital asset blockchain space. Then we see this from Metaco right here. Now, some people said this thing is fake, but why would Metaco be sharing a fake image? This happens at NASDAQ all the time. They put these advertisements up. And congratulations are in order to Ripple on their acquisition of Metaco. Yes, indeedy. Shout out to them. And what about BAKKT? We've talked about this. Shout out to DAI for bringing this up again, because this has been a conversation here on this channel too. And Ashley Prosper. I've often thought that BAKKT, because it is owned by the same parent company of the New York Stock Exchange. How have they been so quiet? How have they been able to avoid any regulatory woes? And are they sitting like a lion in the bush waiting for some clarity? Possibly clarity and decision in this SEC versus Ripple case, because I believe that is going to be as much clarity as we're going to get until we get legislation from Congress on digital assets and cryptocurrencies, notwithstanding stablecoin legislation. BAKKT is something to watch very, very closely. Then it's a reminder here from this lady here from Citi at Sibos, which is Swift Messaging Systems' massive conference. It's their version of Swell. And listen to how much money we're talking about. Citi is a Ripple partner and Volente partner, and Ripple is also a partner to Volente Volpe.
Our long careers, but it does feel like we're in the midst of a once-in-a-lifetime shift. The architecture of finance, and by that I mean global currencies all the way down to payments, lending and deposits. It's unbundling bit by bit, and it's rebundling around a new, largely digital architecture. And this happened in trading over the last few decades, and it was an evolution. But what we're seeing now is more of a revolution, with new architectures supplanting old ones. And the way our industry has operated for decades, it's going to be replaced with new ways. And the scale and the speed required to serve our clients, it's of a completely different magnitude. So here at Citi, where we move over $4 trillion globally each day, where we enable clients to issue payments in 144 different currencies, where we do business in more than 160 different countries and are on the ground in nearly 100 of them, well, we have a deep appreciation for scale and agility. And we're seeing how the world is becoming more global and more local at the same time, and how it's becoming faster and how it's becoming more complex. We're reshaping our firm and our exceptional assets so that we maintain our relevancy and we continue to deliver for clients. Swift, as the community that underpins global flows, must make this same journey. Not just talk about it, but actually accelerate action. Because if traditional payments remain slow and comparatively clunky, as they are today, then it's a huge incentive for others to develop alternative, large-scale global payment systems that could be cheaper and much faster. Already, the convergence between new technology and shadow banking risks derailing years of our progress. There's always been unregulated financial activity, but the new technology has the potential to scale that globally to the detriment of the regulated sector and the clients and the consumers we serve. We simply can't afford the regulated sector to be perceived as technologically deficient to the unregulated sector, and that's why we must relentlessly modernize our regulated financial system through public-private partnerships and through communities that bring our industry together, such as Swift.
And there you have that, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, this is this is a very exciting time for me. Because I know we're on the heels of a decision that is going to inform us about how this market will shape and move forward, not just about XRP and Ripple itself. This is going to speak much bigger to the market. I can feel it. And I can also feel that it is positively suspect that we're watching Sibos, the conference for Swift, have multiple mentions. If you haven't watched the video I put out yesterday, I highly encourage you to go watch it. Ripple is the talk of that conference. Remarkable. And I leave you this from I'm a XRP Robot and from the XRP Las Vegas. It's John Deaton on stage dropping a little inspiration on us all. Take a listen.
Crypto communities, and I can assure you that no crypto community deserves financial freedom more than the people in this room.
You're damn right, and well said, John Deaton, and that's going to do it for me. Not financial advice from me, him, or anyone else. It's just our digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.